We are back. We are back. Let's see here. What was I gonna do? What was it? Okay, there we go. We're getting there, we're getting there. That one looks good. I like that one. Download it. I'm not even doing anything up here. I still haven't done any of this stuff I had to do on the channel yet. Damn. But yeah, we'll come back in when y'all get back in. I am back for probably 2 hours. Another 2 hours. Something like that. Do I have? Oh, I don't have to join that. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm also getting a video. Straighten away in the background. That's why I'm like looking around my phone. Because my phone's blocking my vision. But yeah, we're back. This multitasking, doing the same old. I'm gonna just minimize you. I don't got time. I don't got time for these games. But yeah, we're back. If anyone has any questions, continuing talk about tarot or just anything, along the lines of things like that. That's what we're doing. And we're also doing this because I'm low-key like $30 short for the room for tonight, and I'm trying to keep the room until like the 11th because I DJ on the 10th and I'll be able to like suffice for stuff at that point. Oh, I went 2 over. I went 2 over. That's what I said. I don't know why I clicked 3. Caption, share with AI. Boom. Alright. The chat works. Awesome. It's the first time it's worked that fast in forever. What's my favorite tarot deck? The Raider Waite. The Raider Waite tarot deck is my favorite tarot deck. I cannot lie. Because I don't know. If we're gonna talk about tarot in that sense of it being in like card form, the Raider Waite is the best. Everyone else is skewed upon like their own observation of life. Whenever the Raider Waite went directly from like people before this time. A lot of people who like make custom decks in today's time actually like convert the cards to mean like what it means to read in modern times, which is not at all like what it's used for, which is really weird. But that's like artist rendition and stuff, and I don't know. A lot of people just make tarot decks without keeping in mind like the meaning of it, rather than just trying to make it look cute or cool. And yeah, we're doing free readings. We're doing free readings. Awesome card. But yeah, we're doing 2 card pull for free, and if you need more than 2 card at that, at that point, it would be like more of a donation thing. But the 2 cards are for free. And yeah, I can get you with I can get you with the general. So your first card is the 5 of Wands, Leo and Saturn. Your 5 senses may be inflamed by like people around you, like getting different opinions. Just your 5 senses being inflamed. This is a battle of what you desire to do, and the opinions of the outside world, and even the opinions of your rational mind. But really focusing on the aspect, like seeing what's battling you right now. You may even be in a battle between like the mind and what you're trying to create on the physical, or trying to convey an idea and it's not coming out precisely. But whichever way, um, getting more tuned in and focused on the life that you desire to live, and the path that you're wanting to follow really is the path that we're wanting to follow, is what you need to focus on now. But that path that you're following, making sure that it's not being obscured by other people's opinions of things, allowing you to experience what you desire to. Of course, allowing people with advice on things to grant you advice, but really walking your path and not taking in so many opinions of others in that sense. In the Hangman reverse, this battle that you're in with the Hangman being in reverse, this is something that you can remove. No, it's not. It's upright. My bad. I keep thinking it's in reverse because I mirror it all the time. Because I'll look back at it like that. But it's upright. My bad. But this is a situation that you do have a hold on. Like you know that it's there, but there's just this waiting period, to where you're just needing to really delve deeper into that wisdom, into that insight of knowing. The illumination is what you're trying to look for at this time, for like why things are hard to move forward. And then, once you find that out, you'll realize that you were never truly stuck at first. For the Hangman would go in reverse, and you'd be able to like remove yourself from that blockage or that stagnation. But just paying attention to like, you know, the thoughts, or the people around you saying X, Y, or Z that are converting you not to choose the path that you're desiring to go down. Paying attention to that is the path to look at right now. And I appreciate love the donation. Thank you so much. Uh, yeah, the mornings are still good. There's a little hiccup in the road, but we're here to fix it. Hopefully. I know we can fix it. But yeah, morning is still going well. I should have got a water when I was down there. I'm not gonna go back down there till 3 though. Yeah, I can definitely see how that like could be like a whole uh mind boggle issue. Uh Definitely, like, when you think about it, make sure that you do pay like very close attention to like your thoughts. Um because even though they will be like fueled by some form of feeling, that feeling could just be like an unresolved issue that hasn't been talked about yet, either within yourself or like together as a joint. um but regardless, just really, because you want to make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons for you. You don't want to go off on a path that you end up like regretting it soul wise rather than mental wise, right? Um, but yeah, it's all about like getting that out. And even after, you know, taking it a step further, even kind of having like a plan for like if you do and if you don't, right? Um, because it's all about, you know, because even if you don't, you need to have a plan for how you're going to allow things to move forward. And if you do go through with things, you need to have a plan for how like you're going to move through with things. Just making sure that you're nurtured in that aspect of knowing what you can do next, or what you are the steps that you can take to allow things to be easier, like is important. I've never like gone through like obviously I haven't been married, but I also have never like had any parents get divorced or talk about it in that sense, so I'm not too sure like personally how to relate to it. But that's the best advice I can truly give. Yeah, a lot of people like they forget to anti-plan, um, or more like it's about knowing what you don't want, and that's anti-planning. It's just knowing what you don't want to plan, like knowing what you don't want to have happen, and then you know knowing that there's a solution for that, and you know either writing it out on paper and finding that solution that way, or doing the mental work with it. You know, regardless, but you know, planning for both events is good because it keeps you from being like rationalized to one degree and seeing things from one point. And we're doing well over here. We're on a bit of crunch time, but uh, nothing too bad. No, you're fine. It's safe to vent. This is a place to be able to vent. Even though we're here to learn. What's better than learning than allowing yourself to be vulnerable in that sense? But you know, because these are situations that even though I'm not able to give full advice other than like what I can receive from that, but someone in the chat might have advice for you, because maybe they've gone through something similar or know something of that degree, and it's like it's less venting and more just expressing your situation in that sense, and just seeing like who can help in that sense, because like I don't know, we're holding a space for growth, for learning, for growth, for healing, for whatever here. And as long as like people are respectful, it doesn't matter. The second disrespect happens, that's when I'm gonna have to pop up and be like, all right, look. But yeah, we're all here for each other. We're all like genuine, like a big family here. Even if we disagree with each other at times, no one like ever like explodes or goes crazy. We all help each other. If Daniel was in here, Daniel would be typing up a storm probably. He always like, if I don't have a response, Daniel does. It's hilarious. Daniel like will be on. You'll have like two speeches. You'll have Daniel doing a speech in chat, and then I'll be talking on the live, and it's hilarious. It happens all the time. I love it because we're always just like teaching. It's just fun, but everyone's doing it at the same time too. You know, everyone's always teaching everyone here, no matter what. But we always have a fun time. But yeah, just making sure you have a plan set in stone. And even if you're afraid to like talk about it, you can even try and talk about it in that sense, with them, if you're comfortable to, or if you get to a state of getting to that point as well, even. And just seeing like the best way to kind of work through things, and how things are gonna like leverage out. um Doing all you can within your power, and not forcing anything on anyone in that sense. Yep. Uh, but yeah, definitely like just kind of talking about it and just kind of seeing like the how the boat's going. You know, if you both are on like an equal like page, it's gonna make everything go so much easier. Um, which I feel like you kind of are because you kind of agreed to like not make a decision until the end of May. But just kind of like getting back to touch base at some point before like the end of May to see like how everything's going. Just to know because a lot of times when you're in these types of situations, a lot of your panic and a lot of your fear is stimulated from like someone else and how what they're going to go through because you're going to go through your stuff and they're going to go through theirs, and sometimes you end up like oh well, I hope they're going to be okay, I hope they have their stuff figured out. So it's always good just to kind of like calm that part of the mind if you need to. If not, you should don't worry about it, but it's just important. Keeping like communication is totally a key, just for anything in life like that. But what's up, Steven? How we doing? For the rest of the week, you can't do future prediction with tarot, so I can't tell you what's going to happen for the rest of the week. That's impossible to do. No one can do that. So I can't do that because energy's always moving and time's always moving and you're always changing. So a future prediction is just a lie to your face because it's telling you what your future looks like from your stance of point right now, from how that person's viewing it. And then if you make a small like misstep, like let's say you kick your pinky toe against the table, that might have an effect of ruin things now. You know what I mean? So you can't future predict. That's a hoax. The future's always changing by your every second you make. So there's no such thing as that. I get that. That's well, good luck with that. You all have it on a good page at least. At least it's like mature and there's not much of like you know crazy stuff going on. At least from like what you've described. Um, but definitely like it is things seem to be moving out pretty smoothly. Just be sure to like not allow your minds to to go crazy with thoughts and drive you like one way or another. Is keeping a peace of mind is very important, especially with the hangman, because the hangman's all about illumination and having that full alignment, not being quite ready to drop into that alignment, but knowing what it's going to be and how to get there. Yeah, that's what it is. It's most likely, but that's infinite. So if in order for you to get like a future prediction, you would have to be Doctor Strange and see every possible outline and listen to every possible outline with every possible action that you took. So it's not a thing. It's set of like outcomes. Those outcomes determined by your input. That output of the reality that you receive comes from the input that you're giving it. Um, in the same sense, it's outputting things into you that you're inputting into it. Yeah, you can't fortune tell. Even if someone were to look into your future, like see everything happen, you can literally do something in the following days until that exact date happens to fuck up entirely everything and change it. It is time is not solid like that. People like to think it is. They think it's a timeline. It's a cycle. It's cycling around you. It's a revolution. You are the center and everything else is around you. It's not linear. So you can't future predict. That's impossible. People really have to get that like through their brain. But then you have people going for entertainment for just only and like ruining people's minds because they're lying to people about that stuff. It's awful. But yeah, I like the you can you can predict where you're gonna be based off your actions right now, but it's not gonna give you like the actual future prediction. Because you might end up walking a different path, even if you hear that that path is working. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really know what's gonna happen the next day. You could make a decision like hours after, I don't really want to do that anymore, and then that whole future prediction is just down the drain. Or you don't take a step that you needed to take that will lead you to that future position, due to just not knowing. So it's just always best to follow the heart space. If you want to future predict, listen to your heart. Like, actually, no one else can do it for you. It's a you thing. You can predict your own future because you create it, and you get to walk on whether you get to walk the line of destiny and fate. You get to choose which side you're going to be on, but you have to know which is the rational mind or the heart. Which one do you want to follow? And not and like there's a lot more to it than that, but just to get like a surface level to start things off, just to get like some form of awareness or like some form of like synapses running within the brain. We'll leave it at that. It's like the same thing as seeing like signs. Everyone thinks that, oh, if I see this number, this angel number, that it means something awesome and amazing is on the way. It can also be a warning saying, hey, like you should not do this, or you're in this energy right now and you don't need to be. It's a message from your angels. Doesn't mean it's always gonna be good. People have this weird like identification with light being good and dark being bad and angels being good and demons being bad. They don't realize how mish and mashed it is. Um, it's a full spectrum of things, dude. Not for this week, no. I can do it for you today. I can't future predict. Just don't worry about the time. That's your rational mind. You're worried about the wrong issue. You need to worry about why your rational mind is so worried about this week and why it's not worried about right now. Don't worry about the future. The future's dictated by what you do today. So if you're worried about the future now, you're going to be worried about the future in the future. Worry about today. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. It really is. And everything will come into alignment. Don't worry what happens in the next few hours. Just worry about what you need to do right now. That's all that happens. I don't know. What bad angel numbers, whatever, dude. You're just not in it to win it, Albert. I'm sorry, dude. You don't know it. You don't know enough of what you think you do. You think all angels are good? You got some learning to do. You think all demons are bad? You got some learning to do. You got some labeling to reconstruct and deconstruct too. Because it's not what you think it is. You're blind. You got some sort of false light on you, and that's okay. But I'm here to expose it. Get it off of you if you want it to be off of you, of course. You can keep following Iblis if you wish, but if you don't want to follow Iblis, you come to the right place. One of the right places, at least. And I say walk with Iblis because ignorance is Iblis. The phrase ignorance is bliss is saying ignorance comes from Iblis, which is why people who are ignorant end up following Iblis, which is false light rather than true light or Satan, in that sense. I used to do that all the time, Stephen. It took me a while to get out of the phase of I'm just gonna sit on the bed and not do anything. I'm just gonna not do anything if the asteroid's gonna come. But I eventually got a bit further down that path, because it can be helpful if you can, if you're able to digest it properly. It can be helpful. If it's not, it could definitely cause some issues down the ring. That shit could go, yeah. That could go bad real fast if you don't have like a solid mentality. So you got to be very careful, or at least have someone that guides you through that shit. Cause goodness gracious, and you as well have a well day as well. Avery, thank you for stopping in. Truly, I didn't do that right. I mean, yeah, going back to the fucking angel numbers and stuff, and like how they can be seen as bad, because in Western teachings, five. We'll start with 555 because I think that's just what everyone knows. It means change. That it can also mean that you need to change because you're repeating cycles. No one said that there was a bad angel message. It's just angel messages can be warnings. If you associate warning with something bad, that's another issue. But like again, like that's just exposing the false light within an individual. But yeah, you're one of a new beginning. Your new beginning's not happening because you're not actually choosing it. You're just allowing that number to make you believe it, but you're not taking the steps to it, which then becomes a warning of, hey, you need to choose a new path. You know, you have your 999 cycle completion. You're actually going to repeat a cycle because you made the same steps, but because you allow your rational mind to generate the feeling of, oh, this is a good message, even though I've been through a lot of, things that have been the opposite and I've made a lot of opposite choices. Now you've convinced yourself that something good's going to happen, and it might not, because it's not coming from a heart space, it's coming from the rational mind, which is an illusion, which is the whole issue. Because your angel numbers aren't even a real thing at the end of the day. They're just fucking fake. 333 is 9. 555 is 6. 111 is 3. You know, numerology is not what you think it is. Numbers today are not correct. That's why we use symbols instead of what we have now. We had like actual tallies and things beforehand because we knew that there was nothing higher than 9. And you would have to start back over again at a different letter. You had to start over at a new level, at a new togetherness. That's why 10 is represented by Gebo, which is the union, the completeness, the togetherness, the relationship. You're in a relationship with yourself to either go to the next level or to go back to yourself and to figure out what went wrong so you can reconnect to yourself again. That's what's going on with that. It's all symbology. But westernized teachings don't tell you this stuff because they don't fucking know it, because they want to cram centuries of wisdom in like 30-minute sessions, which cannot fucking happen. So it's just about breaking that Western spell that people have over them, and that Western spell is ran by Iblis tenfold. At least told from Islam's point of view, because the Bible talks of so many fucking gods, old and aboriginal, that like they don't fucking clarify anything. But yeah, it's all this information's out there. You just have to go search for it. You're expand your knowledge further than just the westernized teachings of things. Don't read westernized books on Eastern like traditions. Read books that came from where they came from. You know what I mean? Like what that's why I personally like I want to learn how to read the Quran in its native tongue before I fucking read anything else of it, because I don't want to like have westernized viewpoints that are going to plagiarize and fucking mishmash and give wrong definitions of things over something that I'm trying to read for the truth of the truth of it, Which is why I also don't read many books. Many people kind of just stick with the Western's teachings, or like the Western teaching of Eastern things. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. Because with I don't know, there's so many laws that we know of, like law of equivocal exchange. Nothing is the exact same. Things are always moving. Nothing's actually solid. But then we just forget about it. and then go, okay, so what about this? And we it overcomplicates it. We end up remembering the divine teachings and then go right back to the rational mind, which is kind of how the westernized teachings is. That's why you have to have so many awakenings, and you're not just awoke or what you're not woke up. You have to go through so many like awakenings because like you're not actually taught everything you need. You're taught it like little steps, and that's just because we've been dumbed down to not understand things at a grand scheme like that, because those teachings have been lost through time, and again, no one's really teaching them. Hitting the awakening snooze button, yeah. No, in all, like, I don't know. The ego is a funny thing. The rational mind is a funny thing too. Definitions of like the westernized world is funny. Like everything has to be good or bad. It just can't exist. And then allow itself to be in the full spectrum of things. Yeah, that would be true. I mean, well, they'd either go batshit insane or already be dead, or changed into a new form. You know what I mean? Like either way, you're gonna get the full truth. It just depends on what state of consciousness you're gonna be at. Um, you know, there will eventually be a lifetime where your soul will have all the knowledge that it needs to, explain about all the things in life, and then poof away, and then come back when it needs to. When that time will be, I have no idea. The magician card, oh boy. There's a lot going on. Oh man, I love the magician. Anyway, the magician is you. Simplest form, the magician is you, taking things from the heavens to the earth, or things from the heart space, the divine, the mother, and allowing it to be on the physical. On the table of the magician, you see the cup, the wand, the cup, the sword, and the pinnacle all in order. You can actually see like by how they're positioned, how they're drawn. The wand is in the front, the cup is literally in the middle. The sword is behind the cup, but also behind the pinnacle, but it's pointing towards the pinnacle as well to show you that's where you're going to go. The floral from on top matches the floral from on bottom. The limniscat shows that you have victory. It's not an infinity sign. It's a limniscat. It's a symbol. It means it's a ribbon of achievement. And you're wearing the red over top of the white, showing that you have sacrificed your rational consciousness for the purity of self. And that little wand, I forgot the actual term for it, is seen both in. I'm gonna have to pull out a few cards for that, but that wand is seen within the Chariot card. It is seen within the World card. You actually have two of them in the World card. One's for Mother, it's the one that she holds in her left, and she's giving you the one on the right. So you pick it with your left to create things on the world. And it's also in the Chariot card, and you're holding it in your left in your Chariot as well, to show that you have rulership over how to manifest and how to walk this realm. You've passed the class or the tests that you needed to, and you see the totality of life. But that's what's going on in the magician. I'm not too sure about the symbology on the the board here. I don't know if you can see it very well. Yeah, but the lilies, those white lilies are of peace, and the roses are of life. In that sense, it can also represent death, but roses are more of or like a purity, like a beauty thing, a protection thing, knowing that things are going to be prosperous. The vines is showing that you divined from the heavens to earth. You divined and created roots. Um, but I'm not too sure about the symbol on the table. It might be talking about the transition from like uh, water to the physical, or from the divine to you, or like the three in you, or something of that nature. But there's like a water, a ship, and I believe like an Aztec phoenix on it, or a cross. I can't really fully tell. It kind of does look like the Aztec phoenix, but also like the cross. But all in all, it's just talking about the crafter's table being able to take things from the feeling element and creating it on the physical in that sense. Um, no, you can't explain anything future with tarot. You can't future predict, so no. It can tell you the path that you're walking on is a good path to walk on, and that you need to continue doing the steps that you need to do. But tarot just tells you the life. All tarot does is tell you how to walk this life of earth. Tarot is just telling you that you are a twin individual. You are two people. You need two keys because two heads are better than one. You have two heads. You're only using one, which is the rational mind. Um, no, you cannot. No, not as a manipulator. The magician is simply you, not a manipulator. None of these labels that people like to put on things. The magician is you, simply as. It is nothing else. Tarot is about you and you alone. No one else, none of these labels. It is about you and the connection between your heart and how the rational mind is disrupting it, and why you can't connect the rational mind to the heart space, and how to do that. That's all tarot is. All these cards are called what they are for a reason. When you think of a magician, that's someone that has sleight of hand. They're able to create things in quick time without having nothing. Like you see those, I can't do any magic tricks, but you've seen the ones where they're like their whole card of decks is one whole card, and they sleight of hand it, and it's back to a normal card of deck. That's manifestation happening. That basically, in that sense, if you want to compare it to like the magician card, is that's you showing like, I have this hand, but I'm going to create more or something specific that I desire out of it, and allow that to be my abundance, allow that to be what I show forth, my fruit, my labor, in that sense. But every card is about you. I'll show you this. The Six of Cups. That's your heart space, the intuitive, the feminine in you, and that is your masculine. The masculine's hooded and hidden because he's ashamed, and the feminine's not hooded because she's like, oh, you're trying to find me now, and now we can connect. And I've never been mad at you. You just need to come to me so we can connect, and so that we can talk, so I can show you the path that we're going on. And that's why you're offering her the peace offering with the white lily, and you're handing that to her, to your heart space, to the feminine, and as an apology is saying, I know that I should listen to you because you gave me the right directions. Let's do this over. I see things spiritually rather than physically, and I now know what I must do. And then on the, like, I guess I'll use judgment because they're all three on there. With judgment, you have the feminine, the masculine, and then that's you, and then this is also you. And then you have your mirror. No one's in the tombs. No one's being risen from the grave. You're being awoken to what you're about to go to. And all three sides on that side are out of graves, not in their tombs, rejoicing. But you're over here getting the call saying, hey, let's move. Let's work together. Now is the time to be connected as one, and move so you can see who you'll be. But first, you have to cross those waters. You have to make it past those feelings. And then that goes on to the Six of Swords, where you're needing to move from rough waters to calm waters. You're needing to focus more on the journey that you're desiring to take, and not the trials and tribulations that are going to occur during that time. But yeah, the names of the cards, they're not supposed to just be used as like labels for individuals. Um, they have meaning. Like, what is an empress? What were empresses known for in this world? We tend to forget about that. Um, and that's just based off of like definitions and stuff. But like, regardless, it's like, where does the term empress originate from? Why does the Empress card have to have a heart with Venus's symbol on it, or the feminine symbol? Why is there wheat everywhere? You know, who is this representing? Who could this represent? Why are there roses on her dress? Why has she got a pearls around her neck? You know, why is she resting on red while wearing white? You know, how is she holding a male phallic while also being in that feminine energy? And why is she holding that male phallic in the right hand? How does she have control spiritually over the male in this sense? All these things, you know, that you should look into when studying the cards, because it allows you to see, like, oh shit, like, that's a rod and a ball. What else has a rod and a ball? A male. That's the rod and the ball. The ball is the female, the orb. Orbs are female. The rod that comes with it is the male. It's the dick and ball. That's what it is. It's like, that's what it symbolizes. Like, it sounds funny to say it like that, but it is. That's why the page of, like, here, I even show you the page of wands, dude. Even the page of wands has like a phallic tip to it. It's telling you that it's time to move forward with the idea that you have. The idea is being transmuted into a masculine form. It's all there. Like, the stuff is there for a reason. It doesn't look that way just to confuse you. It's there because it's there. Your eyes aren't pulling a trick on you. They didn't do it to pull one up. It has a meaning. You really just have to look at it. We're all dying for an orgasm. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Dan. God damn, man. That's funny. Hope you're doing well. Oh, Daniel, we were talking about you earlier, dude. But yeah, I can get you I can get your 2 card. And we are talking about tarot, and doing 2 card pulls. And doing a donation / fundraiser stream if you feel called to do so. Yeah, he be pondering that wand. He'd be sitting there looking at it like, huh. Let me get your 2 card real quick, Steven. Oh man. We always have a joke up in here. What's happening here? Tarot cards. Teaching tarot. True tarot cards. But your first card is a collective, not individual. Collective readings, though they can kind of like help, they're not gonna gear you towards a specific outcome. In that sense. So I just do 2 cards for whoever. Well, yeah, Steven, you got the most important card in tarot for your first 2 of cups. You are interacting, you are messing with the field of the heart. Whatever action you have taken, somehow your rational mind has come to your heart space and agreed on something being the best case of action, and continue down with that path. Right now, you are in masculine energy with 2 being there. You are messing with the mind a lot. So just, being aware of that. But you are coming into connection. This is dealing with a lot of Venus energy too, because the 2 of cups is, can do it off the top of my head, Cancer and Venus. And that has just a lot of to do with you going with the flow and getting connected back to self, having that that connection with that opposite fish of yours in that sense. And then we have the moon reverse, which is interesting to come up about that. Right now, with this connection, it's not time to emerge. there's something within the subconscious realm that hasn't been delved into that the rational mind has a hold of right now or is about to get a hold of. So kind of just focus on the steps moving forward. Whatever is going on, there is a plan that has been given to you straight from the heart source that is from the divine that you're working with. Right now, you might not have a clear vantage point of it. It's not that it's even eclipsed, you just don't really know what it is. You might not have like any sort of thoughts about it or like worries about it with the two dogs being in reverse, because it's not really something to worry about, but it is something that's cooking in the background. um but yeah, that is the best case of action with that. And the moon's obviously talking about the moon's subconscious, but paying attention to like the new thing that you're being faced with, and allowing that to motivate you to move forward. But whatever you're doing though, you are connected with that heart space, so continue to walk forward in that energy. um just pay attention to like the thoughts, the actions at this point. Don't worry too much about taking a lot of action, other than just introspection. Not much is needed on the physical at this point. I get that, Steven. I get that. But that's the thing. That's what we get to fucking work through, I guess, man. It's just the the rough of it. But you're working with the divine. Like, you're doing it right. Just, be aware of what's happening around, because you can obviously something's going on with the test. Obviously you can see that you're getting fucked with by the universe. So just keep that in mind and allow like the love and the innocence like coming through from that. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you don't want this to happen. You don't want this to happen. Like, yeah, I know I don't want this to happen, but what is you saying you don't want this to happen gonna help me? Like, can you not bark at me? Can we like work together a little bit? You know what I mean? But yeah, is this done yet? Can I like? Okay, cool. Is this gonna cause my laptop to explode? That's the question. Um, I hope it doesn't. What can you do to make life better? Be authentic. Don't let people fool you with this illusion of things being good and bad, because that is a mind race that will keep you stuck in cycles forever. Everything is neutral. Everything is as you make it. If you don't want something to be bad, you have to train yourself not to make it seem bad. If hold on, I don't know why I was doing that to me. Um, your educational career is going down. Um, are you wanting a reading on this? Because I can get you a reading for that. To see like the the issue with that connection in that sense. I got you for the reading. Being losers. The only way someone can be a loser is they themselves claim themselves to be. That's a title that like I don't accept at all. So your first card is the Eight of Swords, reverse. So Eight of Swords upright normally talks about things not being like as stuck as things are. You're still able to like wiggle your way out. But regardless, the Eight of Swords talks about Gemini and Jupiter. This talks about the split between you, the side that's agreeable and the side that's disagreeable, with the Gemini talking about the twins and Jupiter representing luck. Right now, you're working with the twin of you, the rational mind, that's feeding you a bunch of feedback that's keeping you from moving forward, which is keeping you to, to struggle within the luck that you're having. Instead of seeing the thoughts around you as like preventing you from, making another mistake or going down a wrong path, you're seeing them as full on blockages to the self. And with 8 being there, 8's like your test. Eight is seeing like, does this thing that you've built up pass inspection? What work does this thing need? And with this card being here within reverse, definitely see the thoughts, the ideas that you had, or even the plans that you had with the educational business, or what you wanted to do with it, that wasn't used or wasn't put into action, that caused some form of hindrance. And we have the Four of Pentacles right now. Especially with the Four of Pentacles coming out the way it did with the Eight of Swords reversed, there is something about letting go when it comes down to the physical, when it comes down to matter and time. When it comes down to the business, don't worry about how it's going to fall out. Allow this decrease, this time of the business kind of falling apart, to give you time to revamp and to rebuild. Right, it could just be very stressful because you're dealing with matter and time. Things might be rough around you, and you're just dealing with like the struggles of trying to get the business back up and everything, or the career, I should say. But like, focus on the thoughts that are going to help you move forward. So you get all these thoughts of, oh, this isn't going to work, that's not going to work. Okay, then what will work? What can I do? What things do I need to do to boost this forward? And do so when you ask it from that heart space. Really tune in and feel yourself speak from that heart space. If we're going to talk about like the fifth dimension, that's you hearing your own voice in your head. You can do that same thing with your heart. If you connect to your heart space that same way, you'll get that full answer. But regardless, there is like a letting go. This doesn't mean that that things are going to be like built back up, or stay the way that they are, but it's about letting go to see how it's gonna morph, and then if it and then if you're called to go back to it, or if it feels like it can still be managed or something of that nature, work on it in its new form. You know Regardless, just very much let go of the control aspect of like trying to save it, and allow it to go through its own process, its own rebirth, to see what more it could be. Well, you are on the hero's journey. The soul's journey, the journey of you, is the hero's journey. You are the hero of what? Of yourself. You don't need to play the hero for other people. You sacrifice yourself and you fall flat and you don't get anything. You don't get anything at all. People just say like, well, you used your whole life doing this instead of the other thing, right? When you're taking the hero's journey, you're saving yourself from yourself. Because you are your greatest enemy. No one outside of you is your enemy. It's only you. You make enemies inside of yourself first before you create them anywhere outside. That hero's journey is learning how to defeat your own demons by realizing that you don't necessarily have them. You're just not talking to yourself in a proper way. You're allowing occurrences from outside, or opinions through the occurrences that you've generated through different responses of people to dictate things of being good or bad, or all these other things. And sure, I can get you for a 2-card L. Where are you wanting the 2-card on? And I can get one for you. Let's doing that thing. It's not exploded yet. Destiny. Well, Destiny is just following your heart space. Destiny is located with your heart. And Dharma really isn't a thing. That's just a westernized thing, because they westernized karma to mean bad things happening instead of karma just being a reaction. So the Westernized, they kind of like screwed it up a little bit with how it is. Yeah, I get that too, Daniel. I kind of feel that same way about Dharma. Um, but right now, Ellie, right, you have the Nine of Cups reversed. The Nine of Cups is Virgo and Venus, I think. Let me check. No, it's not. That's the Pinnacle. Why would I say Virgo? It's Pisces. It's Pisces and Jupiter. Why the fuck did I say Virgo and Jupiter? I'm sorry. Anyways, Pisces and Jupiter, referring to luck. It's called the Genie card. It being in reverse means that there's a disconnect with that genie. You're not listening to the genie, and the genie's not really operating with you. If you've been trying to find like this life goal, this life path, you're doing it from the rational mind's point of view rather than the heart's point of view. There's an action, so learning to see that, like looking at your past, because the only way you can truly know your life purpose is by walking your life path, looking at things you've done in the past that were seen as achievements toward, in your eyes rather than anyone else's eyes, right? And walking down that path, because that's where your destiny resides. But you may be trying to figure out your path dependent, that's being, confused and perverted by other people's opinions or other people's words over you that you've accepted, which is causing that dissonance, that bit of, lack of manifesting or lack of knowing that knowledge. And right now you're just being called to see like what you're receiving and how and what it's bringing you. There might be certain titles that you just aren't sure of that you've accepted, or certain roles that people have called you that you've accepted that's causing sort of, issues within that realm. But you're needing to see like what the waters, what the feelings inside of you right now are holding, before you move forward with trying to figure out this life path, because there's been that mentality. There's a disconnect from self with the 3 being in reverse, and the 9 being in reverse is like a failed test. So there's this need to like reconfigure, almost like re-see who you are from your own view rather than like what people have said about you. Because people will see one thing, in you, and you'll see the truth, the full spectrum of who you are. So, deep diving, seeing what ideas are coming to you, seeing what ideas people are facing you with, and seeing how they're, what they're filling you with, what the cargo is of those things. Not paying attention to the words that someone's saying, but the actual message, the tone, the true vibration of it, rather than how it makes you think that you feel in that sense. And there's your reading. Yeah, like that's how I kind of thought of it too. Like Dharma being more leveling up. It's less about, getting a good reward, but opening yourself up to receive more of what you're actually desiring. In that sense. And yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well. Oh shit. Uh, that reminded me. I will be back in a few seconds. I have to throw some stuff away. I don't know why that reminded me of that, but I have to go do that real quick. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I forgot I had to throw something out. I've been meaning to like. I've just been so fucking busy with so many things. But I'm doing well. We're doing well. Let me charge my phone. Well, I don't really. You said you had a dream, so I would assume you're dreaming. When you've seen it, but all dreams do is just show you visions. Um, in that sense. But the angel with the like all those eyes, that's known as like the wheel of Ezekiel, the wheel that Ezekiel saw, which really wasn't like a being with multiple eyes. It was more of a ship that Ezekiel saw, and all the eyes that they see and the lights coming out from that ship. Um, but those eyes also could have just been like other ships as well. I'm not too sure. I haven't like delved too deep into that part of it yet, but I'm not too sure about that. I do my best. I like to learn. I like to learn things. But definitely look up Ezekiel's wheel. I'm pretty sure if you look up Ezekiel's wheel, you'll see. You might see what, like renditions of what you may have seen. But having angel, yeah, exactly what Daniel said. Having angel dreams are fucking intense. They're not. I have been like, whenever I was first like getting into like working with the angels, I had like 4 nights in a row where my body was on complete fucking fire because I had to be purified for a lot of things, and there were just a lot of things being purified. So I was like literally detoxing for 4 days, like bed sweating awfully and everything, and then it just never happened again. And then I had like connections with angels and all sorts of stuff. It was really weird, but angels like they people got weird things about angels. They're angels are just like you and me. If there's something don't go along with what they gotta do, they gonna put their foot down. They're not about games. They tell you what they need. Oh yeah, they will. Angels will straight up be like, we can't do this, but what we will do is we'll do this, and it might not help you out a lot, but we can move with it. Exactly, Daniel. There's always going to be a blockage that you have to like see, and like that's the whole spiritual journey is seeing like, oh shit, these blockages, seeing the cycle of them, seeing like how one issue actually spread to so many other ones, and it's all about just like picking up that trail again. Yep. Every demon has a paired angel. The demon is known as a servant to the angel in that sense, and they can definitely help you. Every individual actually also has a servant demon, um, based off their birthday, because of their ruling angel. Um, you know, and that can help you identify like your shadow side, and help you like see like where your rational mind is kind of at and how it wants to do things in his life, if you know about that demonology of it in that sense. The agreeable and disagreeable, they're all on a council together, you know, working together somehow. They got it to work, we can't. That. I'm surprised I've only had 3 more days on this fast. I just now was like hit with that. Mm-hmm. Eventually, that is the end goal. You know, it's about being able to truly cooperate with each other. You know, if they can get one experiment to go right to where like both agreeable and disagreeable can like cooperate, everything would go well. But you know, it takes time. Think of your higher self as the individual that you see yourself being, or the individual that you're desiring to be, in that sense, and it knowing that path to get there, and it, you know, it's already lived that life. You've already seen it live that life in that sense because you see like the outcome that you're desiring, and your higher self basically is like a guide in that sense to guide you more to that. Um, in that sense. Dang, how far behind is my like compute like laptop stream? Why does it do that? That's so weird. It's probably because of the video uploading actually. That's probably the reason why this time. I have to send. Uh. Is it this one that they wanted? I hope it's the first one. It probably will be. I have so much more stuff to throw away that I'm thinking about it. Shit. I gotta throw away 2 more things. I don't have an altar, but I find ways to help my ancestors and you know, guides. feel seen and known throughout. So I gotta get rid of some things before they come in and clean my room. Oh man. I probably shouldn't have this out in the open either. There's a lot of stuff I just This is bad. Oh man. Interesting. I've never heard of anyone doing that with an ultra, but you know, color association, no matter how it is, it do work. And plus, you know, chocolates for your ancestors and stuff are usually a good thing to go by as well. Well, hello. I don't know if y'all seen that. He just flew in front of my face. Took me out, it just spaced me out. I was like, damn. Very little space and no one has a clue. That's what's up. Might as well. I might as well. Word. Damn, that is true though. Damn, it is the 7th. Shit. Alright. Yeah. Let's see what we can do with that. Alrighty. I am probably gonna have to hop off and be back later again. This later, I don't know how much later this later is gonna be. It might be a few days. It might be in a few hours. I'm not sure. But I gotta get off. I'm gonna go find a way to make $30 more so I can get the room again, and then I also gotta work on my mix for fucking Saturday because I haven't done that yet. But I do have a video ready to go premiere as well. It just now finished, which is good. It's talking just a bit about the cups, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that Regardless, I love each and every one of y'all to the moon, back tenfold and forever. Thank you for stopping in, the donations, the prioritzations, everything. It's truly a wonderful time. But I love you all so much, to the moon and back tenfold and forever. And I will